I'm Anil Kumar. Welcome to my series on providing solutions to your questions. Let me thank all the viewers and subscribers for sharing their questions and making this channel a very useful one. Now, this question comes from one of our subscribers who wants to understand the solutions of this test paper, which is based on area under the curve, discrete random variables, and logarithms. Now here we have to solve all the questions calculator free, without calculator. Correct? So let me write down my email address, which is anil dot anil, let me write down here, anilkhandelwal at gmail.com. So if you have any questions or difficulties, you can always email me to this address. I will be there to look into your questions and provide some suggestions. So these questions are, it seems, from Trinity College. Let us see how to solve these questions one by one. There are 4 questions on these topics, correct? So let's begin with the one related to random variables. Question number 1, which states that the table below describes the probability distribution for a discrete random variable x. So that's the table for you. For x equals to 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9, probability is given as, for random variable x, 0.2, a, b, 0.5, and 0.15. Question is, determine the value of a and b if probability of x less than equal to 5 is 0.3. Good. So how do we solve this? So first thing very clear is that the sum of these probabilities should be equal to 1, right? As these are the events and we are given probability of each and every possible event. So we get one equation which is 0.2 plus a plus b plus 0.5 plus 0.15 should be equal to 1, correct? So we get one condition. So when you do this addition, you get what? You get a plus b plus how much? 0.5 plus 0.2 is 0.7, and then you get 0.85. 0.85 equals to 1, and we get a plus b equals to 1 minus 0.85. So we have a plus b as equal to 0.15, correct? So we get one equation which is kind of like this. Now, how do we get another equation? We are given this condition that the probability for the random variable x to be less than equal to 5 is 0.3. That is to say, this probability, right? This is 0.3, correct? So when we know that this probability is 0.3, then that means if I'm going to add these two, I should get 0.3, right? So from here, we have the information that 0.2 plus a should be equal to 0.3, right? So we can find the value of a. So a is equal to 0.3 minus 0.2, which is 0.1. Now we know what a is. To find b, we'll substitute this value in equation number 1. So we get the value for b, right? So we can write here b as equal to 0.15 minus a, which is 0.15 minus 0.1, I mean 0.1, and that gives me the value of b as, let me write 0.05. Is that clear? So we get both values of a and b. We can say a is equal to 0.1 and b is equal to 0.05. Is that clear to you? So that is how we are going to solve this particular question. Now here is question number 2. The following regular octagon is used as a spinner. Determine in the form of a table the probability distribution table. We are given different values of x and we need to find probability for x being 1, 2, 3 or 4. Now since it is octagonal, we'll assume this to be probability as a factor of 8, right? So 1 out of 8 for 1, right? So that is the probability. In case of 2, we have 2 8s, correct? So that will be 2 out of 8. For 3, we have actually 1, 2 and 3. So the probability will be 3 out of 8. And for 4, we have 2, right? So we have this as 2 over 8, which is same as 1/4. So that becomes the probability distribution table. Part B is determine the mean. Now for mean, we also use the term expectation or expected value, right? So alternate is expectation or expected value. Correct? Now to find mean, let us find the product of these. What is the value, right? So the product xi and the probability xi, let's calculate this first. And then the mean of that will give us the total of this will give us the mean, right? So let me extend this table here to provide solution for part B. So when you multiply 1 by 1/8, you get 1 over 8. 2 by 2/8, you get 4 over 8. 3 by 3/8, we get 9 over 8. Here 4 by, you could use 1, or 4 times 2, 8. You could write 8 over 8 for the time being. Now to find the mean, it is basically the sum of all this, right? Sum xi, probability of each random variable here. So it is actually 1/8 plus 4 over 8 plus 9 over 8 plus 8 over 8. So that is equal to 8. 5 plus 8 is 14 plus 9 and plus 8 is 22, right? So dividing 22 by 8, 8 times 4 is 16, right? So 8 times 4 is 16. So we are left with 62. So 8 times 7 is 56. 56 and then we have 40. So 8 times 2 I have to write. 8 times 2 is 16. And so 7 and 5, right? So we get 2.75 as our answer. So the mean is equals to 2.75, correct? So that is how we're going to find the mean. Now let's look into third question, which is, now in this case, determine P and N for X. Now this is binomial distribution, where N is the number of trial and P is a favorable probability, correct? Where sigma x is equal to square root of 8 standard deviation, that means, and the mean is given to us as 12. Now for binomial distribution, the formula for mean is square root of, let's write down the formula so that we can easily solve this particular question, correct? So what we know is that NP, let's use the space, okay. So NP is basically equal to 12, which is the mean, right? So NP is the mean for a binomial distribution. This is binomial distribution. So we are given this NP is basically mean, which is given to us as 12, right? That becomes one equation for us. The second equation is the standard deviation, which is equal to square root of 8. So that means square root of NPQ is square root of 8, correct? Now from here, as you can see, we can actually solve for both N and P. Since we have two equations, so we have NPQ equals to 8, but NP is 12. So replacing NP with 12, we can write 12Q equals to 8. And from here, we can solve for Q, which is 8 over 12, dividing by 4, we get 2 over 3, correct? So that's the value of Q. So that is not favorable, or the probability for failure. For success, the probability P will be 1 minus Q. So that should be 1 minus 2 over 3, which is 1 over 3, correct? So we get our solution, and that is P is equal to 1 over 3, and N is equal to, we didn't find N. Okay, so we'll get back to our first equation, which is now N times P, which is 1 over 3, is 12. So N is equals to 12 times 3, or 36, right? So we get N equals to 36, correct? So basically, let me write this as our equation number 1. This is equation number 2. So first we find the value of P, right? And then here we substitute from 3, right? From 3 we get the value of N, and that becomes our answer. Is that clear to you? So that is how we can answer these 3 questions, which are based on random variables, correct? So the question on logarithms from this test paper is question number 4, 7 marks. Let x equals to log to the base n of 3 and y equals to log to the base n of 4. Write 2x minus y as a single logarithmic term. So let's do this. So here we know that x is equals to log to the base n of 3 and y is equals to log to the base n of 4. We need to write what is 2x minus y. So 2x minus y should be 2 times x is log to the base n of 3 minus y, which is log to the base n of 4. So we could actually write using power rule the first term as log to the base n of 3 square minus log to the base n of 4. Now this is equal to log to the base n of 9 minus log to the base n of 4. And now we can use the quotient rule, correct? So when you have two logarithms with the same base, and when you are subtracting them, you could write them as log to the base n of 9 over 4, correct? So that is how you would actually write. So that becomes a single logarithmic term, right? So that becomes our answer. Part B is express the following in terms of x and or y. The first one is log to the base n of 0.25. Now log to the base n of 0.25 quarter, which is same as log to the base n of 1 over 4, right? So 0.25 is 1 over 4. We could write this as equal to log to the base n of 4 to the power of minus 1, or minus 1 log to the base n of 4. Now we know y equals to log to the base n of 4. So means, let me write minus 1 like this. So we could replace log to the base n of 4 by y, and so we get minus y as a result. So log to the base n of 0.25 is minus y. Good. Now let's do part 2 of the same. We need to now express log to the base n of 12n in terms of x or y, right? So we know x is equal to log to the base n of 3 and y is equal to log to the base n of 4, correct? So with this information, let's write down what log to the base n of 12n is going to be, right? So, okay. So log to the base n of 12n can be written as log to the base n of 3 times 4 times n, that is 12n, correct? Which is log to the base n of 3 plus log to the base n of 4 plus log to the base n of n. And log to the base n of 3 is x. And this is y, and that is 1. So that is how you could write this in terms of x and y, right? So I hope that is absolutely clear. Let's move on and take up part C, which is the last part of this particular question. We need to evaluate exactly n to the power of 2x. What we are given? We are given x is equals to log to the base n of 3, right? So that is given to us. Now, to find n to the power of 2x, I could write n to the power of 2x is equals to n to the power of 2 times what is given as x, log to the base n of 3. Now that is n to the power of log to the base n of 3 square, right? And this can be written as n log to the base n of 9. Now n log to the base n of 9 is equal to 9, right? So using the rules, that is what we get. So the exact value of n to the power of 2x is 9, right? So this is what we get. So that is how we are going to solve this particular question. Question number 5 here is, determine the exact shaded area between the two functions f of x equals to sine x and g of x equals to 3 square root 3 over 4 pi x. We are given the points of intersection, so we don't really have to work out these points. So one of them is 0, the other point is 2 pi by 3 with a y value square root 3 over 2. I'd like you to pause the video, answer the question, and then look into my suggestions. So clearly the sine curve is the curve which is there on the top. So we'll write this as f of x, and the straight line is g of x, correct? And those are the point of intersection. So when we want to find the area under the curve, we can calculate the definite integrals, correct? So basically, we would like to find the area under the curve as the value of integral from 0 to this point, which is 2 pi by 3, right? 0 to 2 pi by 3. Now, since the function f of x is above g of x, we could write this as f of x minus g of x, correct? So that is what will be the integral, right? Okay. So we are given what f of x is, which is sine x. So let me rewrite this as integral 0 to 2 pi by 3. And here we have sine x minus g of x is 3 square root 3 over 4 pi x dx, correct? So that should give us the solution. Integral for sine x is minus cos x, so we could write this as from 0 to 2 pi by 3 minus cos x, and that will be x squared by 2, right? So we get this as minus 3 square root 3 over 4 pi times x squared by 2, correct? So that is what, so we actually wrote the integral. So let me write this as from 0 to 2 pi by 3, correct? Okay, so that is what our answer is going to be. We need to now evaluate the value. So we'll just plug in 2 pi by 3 here and then find the solution. So what we get here is equal to, let's first put 2 pi by 3. So we have minus cos 2 pi by 3 minus, okay, let's simplify this if we can. It is 8, that's okay. So we'll write this as 3 square root 3 over, we can write this as 8 pi, okay. X square, which is 2 pi by 3 whole square. Clear? So that is this value. Okay. Minus, now plug in 0 here. So we get, when you plug in 0 here, we get minus cos of 0 degrees minus. And when you plug in 0, you get 0 here. Okay. So that's what you get. So cos 2 pi by 3. So you can look into the, see, the calculator is not allowed for this test paper, right? So cos 2 pi by 3 really means that we are working in the second quadrant, right? So that is the angle. And 2 pi by 3 will give us acute angle of pi by 3, right? So this is 2 pi by 3. So for pi by 3, if I sketch the triangle, then the cosine value for pi by 3, it is 1 over 2, correct? Okay. So we could write this, and we are in quadrant 2. That means it is negative. Perfect. So it is negative. So let me write down here. The value here will be equal to negative of negative half, right? So cos pi by 3 is half, and cos 2 pi by 3 is going to be minus half, correct? You are in quadrant 2. Okay, so this is minus half for us, and here we have, when you plug in 2 pi by 3, we get this as minus 3 square root 3 over 8 pi, and that is 4 pi square over 3 square is 9, right? Okay, and minus, we get here minus 1, right? So minus of course 0, which is minus 1. Let's put this in brackets, okay. So that's what we have, right? Okay. So now minus of minus half is basically plus half, correct? And here we have 3. You can simplify this a bit. Dividing this by 2, pi also goes, and 3 goes 3 times, correct? So what we get here is take away square root 3 pi divided by 3 times 2, 6. And 1 plus 1, that is what you get, right? So we can now combine these terms, taking 6 as our denominator to write down the answer. So we get 3 minus square root 3 pi plus 6, right? So that is 6 for us. So we have 6 plus 3 is 9. So finally, we get our answer, which is 9 minus square root 3 pi by 6, right? Okay. So we could write this as our final answer for the area, and unit square will be better to write here. Is that clear to you, right? So that is how we are going to solve this particular question. Now I hope with this you understand how to solve a test paper which is something like this. It is section 1 calculator free, where we had questions based on area under the curve, discrete random variable, and logarithms. So look for other links which are on related problems which I'm sharing with you. I hope you understand and appreciate what we have done here. Feel free to write a comment, share your views, and if you like and subscribe to my videos, that'd be great. Thanks for your time and all the best.